Hello, hello, hello. Good evening and good afternoon from wherever you are. Yes, thank you for joining us again. It's another Friday ready for you today to really interact with you and engage with you with another guest. Yes, it's a Friday, a day to really get to know each other and talk about the topic of today. And some of you who are here, if you're hearing from us, share as much as possible with your friends. Because the topic of today, we are talking about a very, very important topic that is going on right now, as you all know, and it's about how to cope with isolation and family life during COVID-19. Right now, there's so much going on. You're losing friends. We're staying at home, like in Germany. We have been here for over, how long have we been locked down? Since December. And how are we coping? Just checking out on you and empowering you. And my guest is here, Mathilda. And some of you who don't know Mathilda, she is
Hello.
based as well in Germany. Hi, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Thank you for joining us. And I'm so glad you're here because you're a specialist and you have been dealing with this situation throughout the year and even more since the COVID-19 came. And we are all trying to see how can we cope with this situation at the moment. We are having the situation of having to be locked down, staying at home, like moving from the bedroom, going to the sitting room, from the sitting room to the balcony if you have one. And don't forget this area you're sharing also with your family members, right? You're sharing with your brothers, your sisters, and it can come a conflict because you've never been in a house together. You have your husband and the whole family in the house. So, and especially for the young children who are there, thank you for those ones who are here because today engagement we are really trying to empower you and we are checking out on you. We've been talking about so many things. Today is a very, very something close to you, especially if you're here in Europe, in US, and I think so many countries have had lockdown, and Europe is purely lockdown. And I say purely lockdown is like since almost 2 months now. We have been locked down, and I'm based in Germany, and Mathilda is here, and she's gonna tell us how it is the situation on the ground. Because we want to relate with you and encourage you wherever you are. So welcome, Mathilda. How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I just had a couple of conferences today concerning the female circumcision called FGM because tomorrow is the International Day Against FGM. Huh? So
Yes, you're a
female
lady.
cut, which
You're
is
a lady who
forbidden here in
is,
Europe.
yes,
Yes.
you are a lady of that line for sure, for sure. Before we go to the topic of the, tell us who is Mathilda and where you're based and your speciality.
So I'm French, a French citizen who came around 41 years ago to Germany as an au pair. That means a young lady. I just was grown up with 18, and I came to Germany just to improve my German because I had German as a foreign language in my lycée, in my high school, and I was not so good, so I decided to come to improve. And then I fell in love with a man, and then I stayed for him. And now it has been 41 years. It's a long time. I really improved my German, believe me, in that time. But not only, I saw a lot of different people coming from different countries, especially from the Turkey, from Greece. There were what they call guest worker here, and they had lots of issues too. But then later on, a lot of asylum seekers and refugees came to Germany, and that's the moment when I decided to work intensively as a social worker. And I'm also working as an community interpreter. That means that I go to all kind of offices and services and women shelters and places like that to translate in French and in German, English, German, to make the communication easier. And I also have sessions explaining to people the way Germany works, the way Europe works, especially ladies and families coming from Africa or from Latin America, um, because it's really awkward. It's not so easy to understand the system here.
Wow,
That's
thank
what
you.
I do mainly.
Yes, that's a lot of work and a very a work that needs a big heart. I have to say, you
Yes,
deal with
a
the
lot of
people with
patience.
different, a lot of patience and a lot of sympathy and empathy as well to be
Yes,
able
of
to
course.
cope with the day to day task of what comes on the table. So according to you, you have been working with the all women, children, and families. And thank you everyone who is joining us. Feel free to invite your friends. And open topic today. We are just talking about how to cope with this isolation at the moment. We just thought let's get out of. We're talking business a lot. We're talking let's get to the boss. How are people doing there at home? We have been locked down for several days, and we're having homeschooling. We're having crisis back at home in our home area. And how are we sharing in from the aspect from Mathilda? She's a special. She's actually been helping with she's a social worker, empowerment coach, and motivational speaker as well. She's gonna be helping us to tell us how the community is at the moment and how we can cope with the situation and where to get help as well. So it's a different topic today, and it's about just about you. So share as much as possible if you're in Europe. And some people might need this information quite a lot because yeah, it's a hard time staying indoors for so many days, and we need to cope.
Exactly.
As diaspora, we need to check on each other. So I'll go on with asking you the first question. Let's talk about homeschooling. Homeschooling is a situation that most of the parents are doing right now, and especially if you have young children. Tell us a little bit, how is the homeschooling during this COVID-19 in your situation, and how people can cope with the situation of homeschooling?
Actually, that's my specialization. I'm working as family counselor, what they call in German ambulante Erziehungshilfe. That means that I'm a mobile, not under normal circumstances. I'm going to the families, I'm going to the school, to the kindergarten, to the daycare center for young kids under 3 when they have difficulties. I help them deal also with the financial problem they encounter, and I'm more or less helping them in the educational issues. And of course, nobody was prepared for that kind of situation. It just came by surprise, took everybody by surprise, and nobody got really prepared, especially the schools. They didn't know how to do it then. So in the time between March and July, it really was a chaos, especially because they wanted to keep the children up to date with all the school program, but didn't know how to do it because most of the children, they didn't have a computer, a tablet, or yes, or a laptop at home. So there is a program from the state that helps a family to get at least the financial help to provide themselves with computer. But they have changed or shifted the age a couple of times. The first time it was for children between the age of 10 or 10, 11 till 18 or 17. And at the beginning, they used to ask the family to come to the social center. We have social center in Munich, which are called, I live in Munich, yeah, which are called Sozialbürgerhäuser. I don't know if you have them in different towns in Germany, but at least you know that in the country where you live, in the town where you live, there are social centers, offices where you can inquire when you've got money problems, when we have issues, all kind of issues, or quarrels at home, or conflicts, or whatever, that we can go and try to get help. In Munich, there are those Sozialbürgerhäuser, those social centers, and normally we're supposed to come there and with a paper proving that your child was at school, with copy of the passport, and you could apply to get let's say a financial help of 250 euro per child. You could either put the whole money together. If you had, for example, 2 children, you would get 500 euro, and then you could decide if you want to buy a computer, a PC, or if you want to buy 2 tablets. But it was a bit difficult. In that time, everybody was trying to get a laptop, and the price went high. So that the family had to contribute themselves with their own money. And it was a bit difficult. And then they found out that some families were also spending the money right away for other things. Of course, they had other problems and lots of expenses when the children are staying home, eating the whole day, and they need some games, they need some kind of entertainment. The money is going very fast. So they decided then that the family first had to buy the tablets and the PC and the laptops, and then come with the Kassenbon, with the ticket,
Yeah.
and only then they would reimburse the money, which was also very difficult because a lot of people didn't have enough money on their account. So it was a bit altogether a big problem to have the material. Some families had only a telephone, a smartphone, and all the teachers were trying to get in touch with the family, to have the children making the homeworks. And when you have only one smartphone at home, and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 children, and they all want to make their homework, it doesn't work at all.
No.
So it was really a big chaos. Right now, it has bettered a little bit, and the teachers are also sending the homeworks per post, or asking the parents to come to school on a certain day to pick up all the homeworks for the children for the whole week. And then they have to bring the homeworks till a certain hour for the teacher or the teachers to pick them up, to correct them, and to give them back. But it's not so easy because the children really needs discipline, and it's up to the parents to know how to discipline their children, to give them a certain structure for the day, because it's difficult for a child to just find out which scheme would be better for him or for her. So the parents have to know that structure is very important for a child, for the whole family actually. So that I have some children who go to bed quite late compared to the normal days, and that's not good. I don't mind them going to bed at the weekend or holiday a bit later, but under normal circumstances, the children will be going, let's say children till the age of 9 will be going to bed the latest at 9 o'clock in the evening, the latest. In order to get up early in the morning, let's say between 6:30 and 7:30, get ready, and the parents ought to try to keep them having the same rhythm as the other days when there was no COVID, no corona. That means that the children have to go and take a shower, get ready, clean their teeth, dress properly, maybe not as nice as they used to do to go to school, but at least not to remain in pyjama the whole day. Well, we tend to do that. I mean, it's natural. When you know you've got nowhere to go, what the point of getting dressed? I mean, if the parents themselves do that, then the children will tend to do that too. That's normal. But sometimes you can still explain your child, I can do it, but normally you are the one going to school. So normally try to get at least dressed correctly to then sit at your table and make your homeworks. So the child should really keep almost the same structure as under certain as a normal circumstances when the child is going to school. That's very important for the parents to understand. And when they understand it well themselves, they are more likely to explain that to the child.
Mm.
The older children, they understand that maybe much better than the youngest. Hmm?
Yes, wow, wow. That's quite important information. There. Thank you. Our listener was coming in and going. It's all about how you're coping, we're checking out on you and seeing the situation at the moment where you are right now. Here in Europe, we are completely locked down, and we want to really see how we can give you best practice. As I said, Mathilda have been following up as a social worker in Germany, and she can give us tips of how we can cope with the situation. Now it's about homeschooling. As she said, there are computers that are being allowed to be given out. Maybe some of you don't know about it, for you to help you with the house homework. And you can get and this is everywhere in Germany, as he mentioned as well. It's not only in one area. So
Oh
you
no,
can,
it's not only in one area.
yes, so you can, if you're in Germany, check out also in your own countries what opportunities are there to make your life easy in your country. In Germany right now, they can give you 250 to contribute to a laptop. I mean, not a laptop, a iPad, because most of them
Yes,
are
you can
using
have a
a
laptop.
computer.
You can buy a laptop. It's up to you. A laptop or a tablet or a PC. It's up to you and up to your financial possibilities.
Yes,
But
and you can
sometimes
give the
parents prefer
receipt.
to buy just one good PC and not lots of tablets. But they have noticed that it's better that each child's got his own instrument to do the homework, so the why they are quarreling a lot.
Yes, that's true. That's true. It's very hard to share if you're having a same time with doing homeworks and classes. They're all starting at the same time. You can't share one tablet and even if you're in the same class with the noises, right? So yeah, there's a lot of things there out there for you. If you have your relative, if you have anyone here in Germany, right now we're focusing on Europe lockdown, and you're talking about homeschooling, as you have had, dress up as well. Even if the children are at home and relax, if we're telling them to do something, then we should do it ourselves. Let's get dressed up. Let's get be on the table doing our homework. Let's get be organized, have a structure when you're doing homeschooling, because you can easily get a routine. Children love routines, and they know what comes next, and then they know when they have their free time as well. And of course, encourage them to go out. Fresh air is also very important. To
Very
get
important. Very
very
important
important.
is
Let
to
them,
have
let them.
breaks. Yeah, to have breaks for the
Yes,
children to just move, to do some sport, go outside, even if the weather is not adequate. Well, in some countries, it's not as cold as here in Germany or in my region, in Bavaria, where it has been snowing a couple of times. But the children really need to get some fresh air, even if it's not for long, but maybe 3 times a day for 10 minutes or for half an hour. It's better than not going at all or going just once for an hour. They need to move. They need really they need to know that it's not a prison. They are not in prison the whole day. Huh?
fantastic, fantastic. So you got the tip also. Now we're going to the next topic. How can you advise having the space for mothers? I know we are being in the house full time, running up everywhere. You can give us tips. How much the mothers, especially who are at home, who are single mothers as well, and
Oh,
um
oh,
and and also even those ones who are married. Sometimes how can you help them to create a space for themselves and take care of themselves?
it's absolutely very important for the mother to really get some space. I've got the biggest admiration for all the mothers right now, mothers with a lot of children at home, because under normal circumstances, they have already a lot to do. And some of them even have a profession. And sometimes they are even asked to work from home, in home office. And at the same time, at the same time, because the fathers are less likely to be helping the children with homeworks and with homeschooling, the mother have to try to part themselves. I don't know how many parts to try to help the children with the homework, do their own duties at work, then do the household and everything. They are like a superwoman, Wonder Woman, and I think that's not what should be. I think that some fathers do want to help and to support their wives and try to do their part, but from what I've heard, it's not so obvious for the men that they have to participate too. They want to go out with the children. That's no problem. Or maybe to go to do some shopping because they know that if you've got a good excuse to go outside, then it's good for you. You just take the shopping bag and you go outside and you go maybe sometimes twice a day to fetch something which is missing, or you take the child along for the playground. But there was a time where even playgrounds were forbidden. So it was difficult for children. But the men should also understand that it's their family too. They belong to them. This family belongs to both parents. That means mother and father. And the father also has to play his part and not to make the life more complicated. And then expect maybe that nights the wife is in good mood for love and everything, and she's tired, exhausted for all what she has done. That's not fair. I think that really men should really ask themselves what is important in life. In such a crisis like we have now, men should understand that they have to give more support at home and show the good example to the children. And if the father does his part, let's say he help with cooking, not only going to do the shopping, but cooking, or going outside with the dog, or even gathering the dirty clothes, learn how to put the clothes in the washing machine if you have one. Most of the households in Germany have got a washing machine. It's not difficult to learn to put some washing powder in the washing machine or even in the dishwasher to fill in the dishwasher and then to set it on. I mean, you don't need to have a big diploma to do that, you know. And if you do it and you show your sons too that it's part of the duty of a man to help also in household, then later on, those boys will also be more likely to understand that in a household, both parents have to play their parts. They are to be solidarity one to the other, and also to give the mother also some quiet when they see that the mother is exhausted. Oh, okay, just go to the sleeping room and take a book or have a siesta, and then be taking care of the kids, or put them in front of the TV set or around the table, which is even better. Not too much TV, but sitting around the table with some games or painting or playing Legos or whatever with the kids, or even some puzzles or memory. There are lots of wonderful games that the parents can play with the children. But
Yeah, I mean,
to give the mother a break at least twice a day, in the morning or after lunch, and then again, the fathers should take the children to sleep, reading maybe a book with them, or telling stories. You don't have to be able to read, but you can also tell stories from your youth or from your father and mothers or friends or whoever, or even tales that you heard in your childhood, but at least, or even ask the child or explain to the child the situation. But letting the children all the time in front of the TV set is dangerous, because they hear COVID, COVID, Corona, COVID, COVID, Corona all the time. It's a threat for them. It's boring. and then they might develop some kind of aggression and maybe even fears. You don't know what's going to happen in the next future. So the less news small children watch, the better.
Exactly. As you said, there, the point. Thank you of those who are listening to us. Yes, the topic of today is how to cope with the COVID-19. We are checking out on you. We know it's not so easy in Europe. What is going on right now, and giving you some tips and from a professional background here with Mathilda, and she's telling us how the situation right now on the ground. It's we have a lot of mental health issues, taking care of yourself, just being surrounded with your family for a long time in one closed room. There's a lot of crisis going on at the moment, and we are trying to reach out to see, find out how you're doing, contribute to with the conversation here, and if you can take one or two information from us, we're glad that you can contribute to the discussion, because it's a tough situation, and we are here for each other. Today, we are just checking out on you in Europe. Those people have been in lockdown for a long time, and seeing how you can cope and where to get help. As you heard, if your students and your kids, the German system and some of the countries there can give you money to get computers, so that and laptop for your kids. And now we're talking about creating your time as a mother. Create a little bit time, otherwise it's gonna be too much. As Matilda said, let the husbands or men in the house, even the children, keep themselves busy a little bit, take out a walk, go out, all the family, and create. Because right now it depends with the timing. You're allowed to go out a particular time. If within your family, it's much easier and without connecting with another family. And so you need to create your time, your space as a mom. Everything is on your head right now because you're in the house, and we are encouraging men, please support as much as you can, because it's taken quite a long time right now, and it's going to be even longer as we hear. It depends where you are. Despite, like in France, it was closed, it was open, and again it's closed again. I can see here contribution as well from Pamela saying yes, that's right. Fear develops in children. Thanks for the tip. Yes, let's not watch this TV news all the time. My TV news is always closed, or in fact, sometimes I wonder how come they know so much. They are the ones who are telling me what's happening, and I'm thinking like, oh, because I have blocked myself and hoping they have, but they tend to keep up the information, some of the information, and try to talk to them. Let them get it out. Let them get it out as much as possible. We have a dinner time and we come up, oh, the world is coming to an end. And no, it has always been coming to an end. You tell them about stories, because they're very young and they're very not, they don't know much apart from the little time they've been on this earth. But there has been occasions like this over and over again. This is the time to go back to your history and start reading books and start encouraging your kids that it's gonna be over and everything gonna go back, and create time for yourself. So we're going to go to the next topic. Thank you so much for the contribution who are joining here. Let's share. Today we are here checking out on you, as I said, how you're doing. Let us know, how are you coping? If you have any question, just throw it there. If you have something to contribute, throw it there on the chat, and we just take it on. And we're just checking on you, how you're doing in Europe. We know the lockdown has been very, very tough on most of us, and it's shaking everything that we know that is normal. And we are trying to to work with you together. So we're gonna go now to the next part, that the question that relationships crises. Yes, that's something probably you have been seeing this on your table, being an expert and dealing with that every other day, and how you can encourage our family member who are going through relationship crisis, because this is the time they are at test. And yeah, I'll let you talk about this topic.
Well, those times are really hard on men and women, especially if you don't know what's going to happen with your job. Lots of men, lots of women too, but lots of men, they feel that they are the ones to protect the family, the ones who have to earn the money, and that give them some security feeling. And if all of a sudden they just discover that they might lose their job. They are set free for a couple of days, or even they have to work less and spend more time at home, and they are not used to that. Then they develop also fears, and they might be either depressed or becoming aggressive towards everybody. They are frustrated and they don't know where to leave this frustration out. So as soon as something happens at home, then they get loud, they get violent, they accuse everybody of everything, and it's hard to bear. It's hard to support because everybody's got the same fears and the same apprehension about what's going to happen in life. But if the man in the house is not sim- showing sympathy to the family, to the children, have fears, they are frustrated too, they don't see their friends, they might not see the grandparents they used to visit once a week. Um, they don't see the teacher because for them they're spending 8 hours, as most of the time, between 5 and 8 hours at school from Monday to Friday. So that's really part of their system. And all of a sudden, everything is vanished. It's very strange for them, the situation, and for the men too. So what best to do is to know that it's not your fault. It's the fault of nobody. Nobody is guilty of anything. So everybody is the same situation. We're all in one boat. So the best is to see how to cooperate all together. Father, mother, and the children, even the older children, would tend to retire in their own room to close the door and don't show their nose out of the door, only to have some meals and go to the toilet or whatever. To see that we are all in one boat, we have to be solid there and try to see how to cope best with the situation. The men, if they have some frustration, aggression, they better think twice before opening their mouths and telling something. And the same for some women who are frustrating, saying, if I tell that, then he will answer this, and then I will answer that, and then we get loud, and then we start to shout, and the children will develop even more fear, or maybe even copy our pattern towards the brothers and sisters. And at the end, it's a chaos. Maybe it comes even to violence, beating, quarreling, beating, insulting. Because violence is not only beating, violence is also using bad words or not talking to somebody for hours or for days. That's also a kind of violence. And people say, I was not violent. I did not even beat anybody. Yes, well, but what did you do? To lock somebody in one room, to forbid somebody to use the phone, to just put somebody in some kind of isolation, that the person is not even capable of using the phone to call a friend, a sister, a mother, a grandmother, or even some kind of services where you can get advice. There are lots of services. If you look it up in your phone, you look for some some support. You just give what you need to know, and then they offer you all kind of telephone numbers. So the best is to know also what kind of telephone number you can also call in case of crisis. So there are a couple of telephones like here. I have some here on this paper. I'll try to make it
Okay,
so.
you want to tell us what they are? Maybe you can.
Yes.
What are
So
they?
those there are some phone numbers for parents. 0800 111 0111. I will
Let me
repeat
write it
again.
down.
Yeah.
Let me pull out it down for them here so that they can see that.
Yes.
You said, oh,
I can show it again if
no, you just
you can
tell
see
it
it.
to me. Tell it to me. Tell it to me, please.
So for parents, it's 0800 111 0111. 111. This is one number. There is another one.
For their parents.
That's for parents, for adults. Yeah.
That's in Germany, right?
Another telephone number is almost the same,
That's
but
for
at the end
Germany.
it's 222. The same number, but with 222 at the end instead of 111.
Okay.
There is a special number for sorrow. When you are very sad, something happened, and you really need to talk to somebody. This phone number is almost the same, also with 0800-111-0550. I repeat, 0800-111-0550. For sorrow, if you are depressed, if you have something on your mind. And there is also a special number for children and for young people, for teenagers. It's the 116 111.
Without zero?
I haven't found any zero, but you can also call the other number and ask. They would give you the right number.
Okay, 116.
And 3 times 1. So 111 at the end. But you can also call all kind of services, and you ask that you need a number because your child need to talk to somebody, because children got stress with their parents. And when you have stress with your parents, you can come and complain to your parents and tell you were unfair to me, because if the parents doesn't understand what he or she has done wrong, because they are frustrated, they've got their own fears, their own sorrows, then you need to talk to somebody neutral. If you have an aunt, a big sister not living in the house, or a neighbor, or the mother of a friend you can talk to, it's also good if she's got time to talk to you. And there are some services from the Jugendamt when you can call, but I know that people have some issue with the Jugendamt. They think that they are always coming to pick up the children and you will never see your children again, or they won't give them back to you. But that, at least from my point of view and from what I've experienced, the last thing that would happen, that they take the children away, it has to be some big problems, or the use of really strong violence in the family, that they do that, or neglect in the family. The parents are not taking care of the child, are not feeding the child. That happens sometimes with family where both parents are using drugs or alcohol, that they forget to care for the children. Then in such a case, of course, they have to protect the child and would come and pick up the child and put the child in a foster home or foster family. But it's not because they want to break the family, it's because they want to protect the child. That's their duty. Child Protection Office, Jugendamt. But normally they provide with services and help. Help like I am one. Help that would follow and accompany and coach the family for a couple of months or even a couple of years, to be more appropriate, to give support and to teach or show better methods to cope with the children. That's something that parents ought to know. Because the first thing they hear is, oh, the Jugendamt, the Child Protection Office will come, they will take your children away, and maybe they would even put you in prison or whatever, but it's not really the case. I don't know how it is in lots of other countries, but I know that in France, in Great Britain, in Germany, in Sweden, in Austria, in Switzerland, in Italy, and Spain, is not the way they proceed.
Yeah,
I don't know for
important.
African country. I don't know exactly. I don't think that's the case, because most of the countries, they don't really have this kind of child protection office, and that's sometimes even a problem, because in some countries the parents think they own the children. The children are their property. And that's not the way we think here in Europe, especially in this part of Europe where I live. Children are the property of the society. They are individuals with their own needs and their own expectations and their own rights. Children are not the property of anybody. And that's what people ought to know and understand when it comes to Europe. So even their wives, they said, it's my wife, I can beat her. No, sorry. It's not a property. It's a person, an individual. And beating is the last thing that should happen, actually. First of all, to speak, to exchange, to try to find a way to sit around the table and try to sort the problems out. And if you need another person, a conciliator, a mediator, to come and sit with you around the table and try to deal with your issues and problems, then they will provide you with one.
Mediator.
Yeah?
I like that. I like that. Just hold that thought there, mediator, because I'm coming right there on that point. Thank you, everyone who's listening to us. It's about checking on you wherever you are in Europe, Africa, and in Europe. I know you're going through very, very hard time right now. It's COVID time, and we are trying to see how you're doing and giving you tips what's going on. You're giving you tips in Germany and how you can cope with the situations, not only in Germany, in Europe as well. But Mathilda, she's based in Germany, and she's coming here to give us tips with the situation she's facing every day. Her jobs have doubled up. There's a lot of work from the social area and also in the psychological part, dealing with people with different, especially as migrants. We know when we come here, we are not maybe given the biggest priority. Like now during crisis, you need to take care of yourself, and we are here for you just to give you tips. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know where to go. We have given you some numbers here. The numbers you can see here, they're basically in Germany, right? And they are, if you have issues with parents, as a parent, and you can call the numbers there are two of them. And then if you're feeling sad, and also for the youth as well, you can call the one of the number, I think was the first one, which is very similar. And their services, you're so lucky that some of the systems here in Europe are already giving these services. So we're encouraging you to check out on them. And I want to also to go straight to, and I ask everybody there, we are now going slowly to wind up. Now we are just asking questions. Feel free to ask your question. If you have something that is bothering you or your friend or somebody you know, and you think you might want to know a little bit. No, the mental illness is going on, but let's talk about this, Mathilda. And you all know, as we were talking about family crisis, there's so much issue right now. We are seeing probably a lot of divorce. The other day, I was just saying hello to somebody who told me, "Oh, I don't even know my wife ran away with the children. I don't know what." And some of these situations are coming more and more often. Or you find yourself in a situation where there's violence. How can you advise them? What should they do? Should they take their children? Where should they go? Especially in Germany, since your space is based in Germany, you can tell us that. But I am sure also
Germany,
so many
yes, in
countries
Germany, in
outside.
France, in Great Britain,
Yes, yes.
in Austria, in Switzerland, Sweden, and Norway, and those countries. Normally, when you have some issues with your husband that you see that you cannot really sort out yourself, the best is, first of all, but it's a bit difficult now in the time of Corona, is to knock at the door of the neighbor and ask for support. I know that sometimes it's difficult, especially for Black people, to do that because they don't know how the neighbor is going to react, and some are not really nice. I also came across lots of racism um, in families or with neighbors or also with teachers, and sometimes you really have to decide, okay, in such a case, if I cannot try to handle the problem with even at the phone or on video chat with somebody from the family, the best is to call the police. Um, it's not that you are a traitor or something if you are calling the police just because you cannot cope with the issue, and it's tending to become more violent, and the beating is starting, or throwing with some kind of objects that can become very dangerous for even for the children around. The best is to call the police. Normally the police will come. Normally there is a female and a male officer both together. Sometimes the issue is the language because you don't know how to explain the situation. The best is maybe to tell at the phone that you need somebody who speaks French or Italian or English, and they will try to provide you with somebody, with an officer who can at least deal with a bit of English, and we come and try to calm down the situation first before they move to the next step and next level. They will talk to the man, they will talk to the lady, try to see what the situation is, sometimes even listen to older children, and then they will ask if you need support, or if they see that there was really violence going on, um, asking the lady if she wants the man to get out of the flat. And most of the time, it's the man who is supposed to leave the house, not the mother and the children. So women tend to think that they have to pick up their suitcase, put as much as possible in it, take their children and run away and go to a Frauenhaus, I mean a woman's shelter, and it's not the case. According to the law, the person who is supposed to leave the house is the one who is getting violent. Okay, if the lady is getting violent, picking up knives and threatening everybody, or has really a nervous breakdown, okay, they will take the lady out of the flat, bring her in a hospital, in a special place, a clinic with some psychiatrist trying to calm down the lady. Doesn't mean that you are crazy just because you have a nervous breakdown, but they know that you need some support. But if it's the man in the house who is getting violent, loud, and that's why I invite also the neighbor to be really attentive to that. Because maybe next door you hear children crying or shouting, or some knock on the door and noises, and you don't know what's going on, to have the courage to call the police. Because it's not to be a traitor or not to be a faithful friend to just ask for support. On the contrary, because if something serious happens, then you will feel more guilty.
Yeah,
You will feel
exactly.
really bad not to have handled the situation properly and to have called for support.
Yes, as you
Because you
had
don't know
guys.
what might happen.
Mhm.
It's not that the man does not love his wife anymore just because he's getting like crazy in a moment, but something bad can happen from 1 minute to the next without the intention. Just taking some object and just giving a bump to somebody, and the person can just collapse, and then you regret what you have done, but it happens too fast.
Yeah,
No?
yeah,
Even children, you don't intend to beat your child, but it's getting on your nerve, or she's getting on your nerve, or insulting you, or calling words, bad words you are not used to, because they are all under tension. Then the best is really, in such a case, to call the police. Some police, man or woman, can even come with a social worker, somebody who is going to calm down the situation if they know that nobody is really hurt,
mhm,
or they can even try if it's during the day. During the night, it's more likely that only police officer will come
yeah.
and
Wow,
try
that's
to.
quite something. I mean, some people can look into as well. As you said, there is support there outside. First of all, is to find out the situation you are in, not to put yourself in a, call the police if you can. And there are women's shelter out there to support women who are having issues right now. And as you had, if you don't need to leave the house. Sometimes, normally the children are given the biggest priority with their mother according to the situation, how it is, the person who is who is able is the one to stay with the children. So make sure you stay sane, keep control of your anger and situation, so that things don't go the other way around than you expected. So anger, control your anger as well. And there's a lot of help out there. I can see a question here as we go closing now with this topic this year, and I'm checking. We are all checking out just to give you information and just checking out on you how you're doing. And it's a very difficult time. We have been having different discussion here, but this time we said let's get see how you're doing and how can we support you. And we have here Mathilda from Germany. She's here. She has done this for how many years have you done the
Oh,
support?
25 years.
25 years. 25 years experience. And if you're in Germany and you want to reach out to her for any support, any guidance, she has a lot of information for especially families who have issues. Feel free to contact her, and that, as she said, and she'll give you information. She's a very generous. I've never seen any so much a lady with a big heart and so much generous in so many things, ready to help anyone with an issue. She can speak different languages, French, German, English, as you can see she's doing, and she's ready to help you to get answers. And there are so many organizations out there, I can also attest. We also have Mummies in Deutschland. The other day they also have a call center, which is really nice, where they can call each other. It's a group where you can you can actually talk to each other and find the situation how you are. That is more in Germany, but we also have supporting groups outside there. On Facebook, don't feel left out. Put up a question, the anonymous question, or even call yourself another name or try to say it somebody else. You need to get a solution. There are ways outside there. Don't feel like you're left out during this COVID-19. Even if you want to just talk, some women, we have so many words and we cannot use them. They might be used on the wrong way. This is the place to be. And also join groups like what we're doing here, listening to other programs. Just distract yourself a little bit out from the what is going on the TV. What I did, I started having these live shows, and I distracted myself completely in a different world and just moving forward wherever it is, keeping to the rules, of course. And I can see Pamela has put a very big question here. I'm going to read for you. She said, how do we advise friends who are feeling very vulnerable? I have friends whose children just left home to go abroad to university. So the couple finds themselves in lockdown with tension building up, mainly because the children have left home, yet the homestay mom, the children were providing her a sense of purpose. So how do you help in this situation or advise?
Well, I would suggest really that the rest of the family, sister, uncle, aunts, grandma, that they really try to remain in touch, even via telephone, if it's not possible to go to visit. A neighbor, before the children leave, they should maybe take some contact with the next neighbors and ask them to get in touch with their mother and to look at whether she has everything she needs, and she needs to talk to people and not to feel isolated. For the first couple of weeks, if it's even possible, to go and stay with somebody at somebody's place. You can talk about your feelings, how your despair, how do you feel, and or even call other mothers who experienced the same thing in the past, that they can give you some support. If not, there must be some other place, social workers or counseling, where they can try at least to give some recomfort to the mother. And the mother needs an occupation. If she's working most of the time, she won't have the time to think too much about the situation. It's on at the weekend she goes to visit the rest of the family or friends. But if she's really busy working 8 or 10 hours a day, believe me, normally you don't have really so much time to think about that kind of situation. And the children should call the mother on a regular basis. nowadays everybody has a telephone. You can call twice a day for 10 minutes. It's good.
Yes, that's true. That's
And
I
music.
agree.
Listen to nice music you like. Just put on some funky music or home music and just dance around in the house, even if you are alone. Oh, I love that. Just make some nice mood, and you know, music is something for the heart. And then try to cook also a nice meal for yourself, even if you're alone, or maybe to share with a neighbor or something, because um, that kind of things give you comfort. But
You,
music, nice music, not sad music. Funky, nice music, that
yes,
cheer you up.
definitely, definitely. I agree with
Please,
you. Going
no
back,
alcohol, no tablets. I mean, you don't need that kind of things.
yes,
Because people who are really depressed tend to smoke too much, to drink too much, some of them even to use drugs, and that's really bad. And the best what you need is really warmth from friends and from family, music, nice food, and a nice sleep. You really need to sleep at least 7 hours a day.
yeah,
And
yeah.
try to
Wow.
make yourself nice, go for a walk, just take time to greet people, even when you are doing some shopping, to exchange a couple of nice words with somebody. You don't have to feel isolated. We are no island. There are lots of people around in the same situation. And when you watch
You.
TV, try to watch nice film, not depressing film. No, some creamy film, with lots of crimes and violence. That kind of things make you depressed. It's even better to watch something like a film for children or some cartoons. Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I would
Wow.
recommend.
Wow, a huge list of things to do, Pamela. I hope you have enough there. As usual, go back to old hobbies. For me, it will be going back to those hobbies that I couldn't do when the kids were there. There's so many things, knitting, and it sounds like very old fashioned, but it's a very modern way. Women are knitting, coming up with great ideas, refurnishing homes. Trying to change and make over the house and keeping yourself busy, especially right now, COVID-19. And YouTube is, you should be your best friend with creative ideas. If you don't know anything how to do it, even if you want a nice menu to cook, Google on YouTube and you get nice meals of how to cook something you never did. And these things keep you excited to do something else that than the normal. So thank you so much, Matilda, for being there
You're
for us
welcome.
today. It was a really, really informative day. I hope we managed to check on you guys. If you listen to this now or later, we're just checking out on you. We have been so busy giving you, distracting you with other things so that you don't keep to the COVID discussion. But we thought, let's check on you. How are you doing? After some of you have been locked down for almost 2 months, how are your families doing? Take care of yourself. Take care of your children. Take care of of yourself. Take time for you. Yeah,
Time for
you're
you.
the yes, time for you because you're the best. You're the most valuable thing that you have right
And the
now. Your
most
health.
important person in the house. The
Yes,
women are always the most important person in the house. Believe me. Because when
yes,
the mother is not feeling well, then nobody's feeling well. Nobody.
exactly.
So
And I
I wish you
believe
all
you.
the best. I give you all the support I can. If you need to get back to me, then you contact Joy. I will try to help as much as possible or to
But you
provide you
can
with
also
the
give us your
necessary
email. We
address.
can put you can put give us the email, put it in the chat so that they can get you directly as well. It's better direct. Some of these things they prefer to do it direct. So
Well,
you
I have to be a bit careful because I'm really a working person and I've got not so much time that I don't want people to be always contacting me for everything. But if there is an urgent need, I'm always ready to help. Really.
thank you,
You
thank you,
can count
thank
on
you.
me for that.
Thank you. That was a very, I would imagine that's the message you want to pass today. Or do you have something else before we close the show to to empower anybody out there who is going through a hard time and very in a closed room. But I thanks God because we have technology. We are seeing people very active on Facebook. There are places called like Clubhouse, where I will be there also as well tomorrow, talking with other people who are 24/7, just discussing, keeping the human being connection, because we are human beings. We have to connect with each other. We are not made to be isolated. But as we
Exactly.
know, most
That's
of
the
the
point.
diaspora, most of the diaspora stay on their own individual, because they don't have their family member here. So keep checking on each other. It's very important for that. So what message would you give out for these people, for our members, before you go?
I will tell them really to think about themselves. It's not bad to be a bit egoistical from time to time, to be a bit selfish. Think of your own health, uh, especially when you know that you have to care for other people, whether they are elderly people or your own children or a neighbor or a sick person around. Just think that it doesn't help if you give out all your craft, all your energy, and at the end you are the one to get kaput. So think about yourself. I wish you all the best. Remember listening to nice music, eating nice food, not too many sweets, but at least something that reminds you of your home country, to try new recipes, and to take a book. Reading is really very, very good. At
Thank
least
you.
an hour a day to read something, but not something sad, something really enjoyable, or some biography from great women who did a lot in this world, and you will see that their life was not easy either. But they manage, and I know that you can manage too.
Thank
All
you
the
so
best.
much. Thank you so much
Bye bye.
for that moment. So I wish
Bye
you a
bye.
good evening, everyone there. And yes, thank you, Mathilda, for the time. And I'm looking forward to another discussion like this, checking out on you.
With
And
pleasure.
we'll be coming checking out on you as well, because it's very tough as well. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Yes, thank you all our listeners. We've come up to the end. Today was just about checking out of African women in Europe, how you're doing outside there. We know it's getting very tough with the COVID-19 closed down, shut down, and all that is going. Businesses are going down, and we are with you, thinking of you. Stay safe, stay connected, and we will see each other every other time. I just want to give you an update. If you have time to check on all the products that we are having, we are teaching. We have so many classes that are going on right now, trying to keeping ourselves very busy. As you can see here, the Awe Academy that was launched in December. Check out on the classes that you can actually distract and learn something new during COVID-19. This is a time to learn something else. So we have like Jumpstart. I would encourage you, one, or Grow Your Business 101 and 102 are already going on. The Jumpstart has already started. So book for Grow Your Business 101. Grow Your Business 102 that is coming up. As you can see, they're coming up, one in end of February and around March. Check on that. We also have the class that is teaching about how to funding class, how to talk to investors. This is a very informative class. And actually, this class, you can get it if you are an Awe Academy, if you're an Academy member. And to be a member, we have a subscription for it. It's gonna be for you to check on some of the classes there and follow up later. Check on that as well. And don't forget, we have the Awe Awards that the nomination just finished the other day. We'll be following up now. Checking on you, giving you awards to motivate you. I know it has been a tough year, tough year. We felt it also during the nomination. It didn't come out as much as we were thinking. I know you've been so busy, not busy with the corona. Some of your business have gone very tough and quite gone a bad situation, but we are here to encourage you, to motivate you. So thank you so much for being here for us. And if they are also being sponsored by Remitly, check out on them. They are giving out a very discount for people who are sending money to Africa, because we can do what you're doing without being sponsored by some of the companies. And this one, you can send money home however you want at no fee, transfer fee, zero fee. And we're encouraging you that. We share with you the number on the link down here. Thank you so much. And I wish you a lovely evening. I'll leave you giving you a little bit information about the Awe Academy. Thank you and bye for now.